Zephaniah, a man with a heart full of love, had built a life filled with joy. He had a beautiful blended family, a testament to love found and cherished. His wife, a woman who filled his world with laughter, was his everything. Together they nurtured a home brimming with the laughter of children. Life was good, a symphony of shared moments and dreams for the future. Weekends were for family outings, picnics in the park, and movie nights huddled together on the couch. Zephaniah cherished the quiet evenings, reading bedtime stories to his youngest, their small hands clutching his. He felt incredibly blessed. Life was a harmonious blend of laughter, love, and unwavering companionship. Zephaniah had faced his share of challenges, as any man does, but the love of his family had always been his anchor, his guiding star. He held on to the belief that together they could weather any storm. His heart overflowed with gratitude for the love that bound them. He had found his purpose in being a husband and a father. Then, like a sudden storm, divorce shattered Zephaniah's world. The life he knew, the future he envisioned, crumbled before his eyes. The pain was unbearable, a crushing weight on his soul. The laughter in his home was replaced by a deafening silence, a constant reminder of what he had lost. The separation cut deep, leaving him reeling from the sudden emptiness. But the most agonizing blow was the distance from his two youngest children. The court ruling, a harsh reality of the divorce, granted him only limited access. The thought of not being a constant presence in their lives was unbearable. Days turned into weeks, each one a struggle to get out of bed. The pain was a relentless companion. He missed the pitter-patter of little feet, the joyous squeals, the bedtime stories. The silence in his home was deafening, a constant reminder of his shattered dreams. Sleep offered little solace, haunted by nightmares of a life without his children. Their absence was a constant ache in his heart. The pain was so profound it felt physical, a tightness in his chest, a lump in his throat that refused to dislodge.
Lost and broken, Zephaniah sought solace in therapy. He had reached a point where the weight of his emotions was too much to bear alone. It was a difficult first step, an admission of his vulnerability. The waiting room felt like a place of judgment, but he knew this was necessary. But he knew he couldn't navigate this pain alone. The isolation was suffocating, and he needed a guide through the darkness. The therapist's office became a safe space, a place to confront his emotions, to unravel the tangled threads of grief and anger. It was a sanctuary where he could be honest without fear. Week after week, he poured out his heart, sharing his pain, his guilt, his fear. Each session was a step towards understanding himself better. The therapist listened patiently, offering guidance and support without judgment. She provided a mirror for his thoughts, helping him see things from a new perspective. Slowly, Zephaniah began to understand that his emotions were valid, a natural response to the trauma he'd experienced. This realization was a turning point. Therapy became his lifeline, a space to confront his pain and begin the arduous journey of healing. It was a process of rebuilding, piece by piece. It was a slow and arduous process, like learning to walk again after a debilitating injury. Each step forward was hard-earned but crucial. But with each session, he peeled back another layer of hurt, revealing a glimmer of resilience he didn't know he possessed. The layers of pain were deep, but so was his strength. The therapist encouraged him to explore his spirituality, to reconnect with the faith that had once brought him comfort. It was another avenue for healing. Zephaniah was hesitant at first. The idea of returning to a place that once felt like home now seemed daunting. He felt abandoned by God, questioning how such pain could befall him. His faith had been shaken to its core. Yet, with gentle encouragement, he started attending church again. The familiar rituals began to soothe his troubled soul, offering a sense of peace he had long forgotten. Alongside therapy, Zephaniah found support in friends and family. Their unwavering presence reminded him that he was not alone in his journey. He also began journaling, a practice that allowed him to process his thoughts and emotions in a tangible way. Writing became a form of self-therapy. Engaging in hobbies he once loved also played a crucial role in his recovery. These activities brought moments of joy and distraction from his pain. Looking back at old photographs, he started to remember the good times, the moments of happiness that had been overshadowed by his recent struggles. As time passed, Zephaniah began to see the world with new eyes. The beauty around him, which he had once taken for granted, now served as a reminder of life's potential for renewal. Slowly but surely, he was picking up the pieces of his life, rebuilding a foundation of hope and resilience. The journey was far from over, but he was no longer walking it alone.
Stepping into the church after so long felt both familiar and strange. The scent of old wood and incense filled the air, evoking memories of a time when he felt more connected to his faith. The sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows cast colorful patterns on the floor, creating a serene atmosphere that seemed to welcome him back. The familiar hymn stirred something deep within him, a faint echo of hope. Each note seemed to resonate with his soul, reminding him of the comfort and peace he once found in these sacred walls. The voices of the choir, harmonizing in perfect unity, felt like a balm to his weary spirit. He sat in the back pew, unnoticed, listening to the message of redemption and love. The words washed over him, offering a sense of solace he hadn't felt in years. He found himself reflecting on his life, the choices he had made, and the path that had led him here. The quiet of the church provided a space for introspection and contemplation. The pastor's words resonated in his heart, offering a glimmer of light in the darkness. Each sermon seemed to speak directly to his struggles, addressing the pain and guilt he carried. The pastor's passionate delivery and unwavering faith inspired him to believe that redemption was possible, even for someone like him.
Redemption and love are the cornerstones of our faith. These principles guide us through the darkest times, reminding us that we are never truly alone. They teach us that no matter how far we stray, there is always a way back to the light. No matter how lost we feel, there's always a path back to the light. The journey may be difficult, filled with obstacles and setbacks, but the promise of redemption gives us the strength to keep moving forward. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is hope.
He began attending services regularly, finding solace in the familiar rituals, the communal prayers, the messages of hope and forgiveness. The sense of community and shared faith provided a support system he desperately needed. Each service became a stepping stone on his path to healing. The church became a sanctuary, a place where he could shed his burdens, if only for an hour. The act of lighting a candle, a simple yet profound gesture, symbolized his prayers and hopes. The flickering flame represented his desire for peace and the strength to overcome his struggles. There was comfort in knowing he wasn't alone in his pain. The shared experiences and stories of others in the congregation reminded him that everyone carried their own burdens. This sense of solidarity helped him feel less isolated and more connected to those around him.
Forgiveness is a transformative power. It has the ability to heal wounds and mend broken relationships. By embracing forgiveness, we open our hearts to love and compassion, allowing us to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Letting go of anger and resentment can free our hearts and minds. It's a liberating experience that allows us to focus on the present and future rather than being weighed down by the past. This act of release can bring a profound sense of peace and clarity.
One Sunday, the sermon focused on forgiveness. The pastor's words struck a chord with him, resonating deeply as he listened intently. It was as if the message was meant specifically for him, addressing the very struggles he faced. The pastor spoke about the transformative power of letting go of anger and resentment. He emphasized that forgiveness was not about condoning the actions of others, but about freeing oneself from the chains of bitterness and pain. This perspective offered a new way of looking at his own situation. Zephaniah realized he had been clinging to his pain, allowing it to define him. The anger and hurt he felt had become a part of his identity, shaping his thoughts and actions. He understood that in order to move forward, he needed to let go of this burden. He knew he had to find a way to forgive, not for his ex-wife, but for himself. This realization marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one where he could start to heal and rebuild. The journey ahead would be challenging, but he felt ready to take the first step.
Forgiveness is not about forgetting the past. It's about learning to carry it differently. By changing our perspective, we can transform our pain into a source of strength and wisdom. This shift in mindset allows us to grow and evolve, becoming better versions of ourselves. It's about learning to carry it differently. This means acknowledging our experiences and the lessons they bring, without letting them define us. It's a process of integrating our past into our present in a way that empowers us, rather than holding us back.
As he embraced his faith, a renewed sense of purpose began to blossom within him. The teachings of the church provided a framework for understanding his experiences and finding meaning in them. This newfound clarity gave him the strength to face his challenges with courage and resilience. The anger and resentment he had been clinging to slowly started to dissipate, replaced by a quiet strength. This inner transformation was reflected in his actions and interactions with others. He found himself becoming more patient, compassionate, and understanding. It wasn't about forgetting the past, but learning to carry it differently. By embracing his experiences and the lessons they brought, he was able to move forward with a sense of peace and purpose. This journey of forgiveness and healing was ongoing, but he felt hopeful for the future. Zephaniah's faith, rekindled through prayer and reflection, became his guiding light. In moments of silence, he found a profound connection to something greater than himself, a divine presence that seemed to whisper words of encouragement and hope. It offered him a path through the darkness, a source of strength and solace. As he walked through the metaphorical forest of his struggles, the light of his faith illuminated the way, casting away shadows of doubt and fear. He found comfort in the belief that even in his darkest hour, God was with him, walking beside him every step of the way. This companionship, though unseen, was deeply felt, providing a sense of security and unwavering support. He started each day with prayer, asking for guidance, strength, and acceptance. These morning rituals became sacred moments, grounding him and setting a positive tone for the day ahead. The words of Scripture brought comfort and reminded him that even in the face of adversity, hope remained. Each verse he read seemed to speak directly to his heart, offering wisdom and reassurance. Faith became his compass, pointing him toward a future filled with possibility. It guided his decisions, influenced his actions, and helped him envision a life beyond his current struggles. The more he immersed himself in his faith, the more he felt a sense of peace he hadn't thought possible. This peace was not just a fleeting emotion, but a deep, abiding sense of tranquility that permeated his entire being. It wasn't that the pain magically disappeared. The challenges and heartaches were still there, but his perspective had shifted. It was the realization that he could endure it, that he could find moments of joy even amidst the sorrow. These small moments of happiness became beacons of light, reminding him of the beauty and goodness still present in his life. His faith reminded him that this was just a chapter, not the entire story. Life, with all its ups and downs, was a journey, and each chapter, no matter how difficult, contributed to his growth and understanding. His newfound faith became a lifeline, a source of strength and guidance as he navigated the turbulent waters of divorce. It was a steady anchor in the storm, keeping him grounded and focused. It reminded him that he was not alone, that even in the depths of his despair, a loving God was walking beside him, offering comfort and unwavering support. This divine companionship gave him the courage to face each day with renewed hope and determination.